Sanam. This is Satpadik, and my technology is hopefully finally back online. And I have a couple of different talks I wanted to do. I wanted to complete the Simran talk because I never really got to post it. So Yogi Bhajan says a few things about Simran. I found several quotes over the last week or two when the technology wasn't working. But essentially, japa leads you to Simran, but it's not Simran. Meditation leads you to Simran, but it's not Simran. Chanting and singing the Gurbani, repeating God's name, leads you to Simran, but it's not Simran. So what is Simran? And so often, sometimes it's easier to define things by what it's not than to actually describe what it is. In yogic terms, one of the closest things that we can kind of relate Simran to is the notion of pratyahar, that sense of withdrawing everything into a singularity, a unisonness of consciousness. And so when Yogi Bhajan talked at length about Simran, he described it as alignment. And what alignment with what? And that's kind of the question that we have to figure out for ourselves. Yes, that if God is not outside of us, if God is only within us, then who and what are we aligning to? And in that sense, I think Simran is when we drop our ego story and we drop all the narratives of who do I think what makes this, what's happening to be meaningful to me, we begin to add a lot. And one of the first things my yoga instructor ever told me in class was don't add anything. Right? Life is hard enough. We don't need to add anything. And at the same time, we are, as human beings, meaning makers. The whole way that the impersonal minds work, buddhi, ahankar, manas, is we receive information in the manas, we receive sensory information, and we record it. And the ahankar is the ego, the story of self that creates meaning out of that sensory information. Now we also have buddhi. We have this absolute mirror type mind that's neutral, that's free, that's of its own elemental self, completely liberated, and it's always available. Simran is when we drop our ego story and we align with that truth within ourself that is innate, that is our Buddha nature, Buddhi mind. So he said Simran was alignment. Now traditionally it is translated in Gurbani as remember. Remember what? Remember our Buddha nature. Remember the innate liberation that is always within us. It's always right there. And it's so easy to forget. It's so easy to get lost in our story. It's so easy to make ourselves victims of circumstance or grandiosity in the things that do happen that we perceive as positive being because of us. Yeah. Both extremes are not reality. They are ego stories about the sensory information that we receive. If we can tune into the Buddhi nature, it's innate, it is part of us, it is our antarajami, that essence of self that dwells upon the altar of our heart, and it's within everyone. Gata gata paragas. If we can remember that, Simran, if we can remember that, then liberation is always right there. It's always available. It's in every breath, in every moment that we remember that nature, our nature. When we align to the truth within ourselves, outside of our ego stories, beyond our own limitations, beyond what we think is possible, and also completely humble, completely absent of any grandiosity, that's Simran. When we can remember that, then we're free. So yes, do the japa, do the singing of the Gurbani, do the practice, do the pranayam. Set yourself right? All of that is just setting ourselves, creating a nervous system strength that can be open to and aware of this innate reality, this innate sense of who we are. That's Simran. So, may you drop your ego story, whether it's too little or too much, and tune into that empty nature that is you, that is everything. Satnam.